So Ibrahim Sangaré is wanted by Manchester United, but Forest wants to keep him. Welcome to your Forest transfer news. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. Coming up, we'll tell you what's going on with Ibrahim Sangaré. Manchester United want him, I think Besiktas want him as well, but Forest are the bigger club and will want to keep him. Also, I got some more of the Elanga stuff. I don't know, you guys seem to really want Elanga back, but don't shoot the messenger. I'll just keep reminding you guys, I'm just telling you what's being talked about in the world of Forest now, sharing it with you, listening to your thoughts. So get your thoughts in the comments. Like, do you want to keep Ibrahim? Do you want Elanga back? And would you do a swap for Elanga with Ndoye? We'll come on to that in a second. And make sure you're checking out our Facebook page. Shout out to everyone who's following us on there. You can scan this QR code or click on the link. All right, let's jump into the news. So Ibrahim Sangaré, who, look, I know I get accused of glazing him all the time, and I'm going to be objective about him, okay? I think he's really good. I think he's brilliant when he is on point. Now, even I can't say that since he joined Forest till today that he's been perfect in every game. There have been huge spells, especially in that first season, where he was rubbish. Yes, there have been mitigating circumstances. He had AFCON in the first season. He came back with malaria, wasn't fit, started to fire at the next season. Then I think he got a hamstring injury on and off, and then started firing again this season. And then his best game for me was when we played Spurs. Which Spurs on the first one where we beat him 3-0. Oh, we beat him 3-0 twice. Anyway, and then he went to AFCON, and then he took a long time to recover. By the way, if you notice, a lot of the players that went off to AFCON across the Premier League struggled to then get back into the rhythm. And then we saw him getting back into a rhythm again in the last few games, literally the last 2 games. I thought he was really good. So for me, I 100% of course keep Sangaré. He is now 28, I think pushing 29. And Forest want to offer him a new contract. But this position is so sought after, not just in the Premier League, but across Europe. There is a severe lacking of competent, good CDMs or defensive midfielders or 8s or whatever they're called these days. So anytime there is a sniff that someone's contract is coming up or that someone might be open to a move or something like that, he's going to get all these links. And then when you look at it from the Manchester United perspective, they've just lost Casemiro, who, let's not forget, they tried to hound out a while back, whose own wife had to post a picture of all his trophies to the United fans to remind them that he was a decent player. And now the United fans are crying, oh, because Casemiro's left us. So they got a hole to fill with that. One of the names being linked is Sangaré to that position. But I take it with a pinch of salt because I've seen over the years so many names just get linked with Manchester United. Sometimes it's from the player's agent who's trying to bolster a potential, decent rise when it comes to the weekly salary and things like that. Sometimes it's just media trying to fill column inches. Now, do I think there's any truth in these links? Yes, I do, because these aren't links that just come up overnight about Sangaré. They've been there for a few months. So I do think Manchester United are interested in him, and why wouldn't they be? He's quality. But within the Forest fan base, he still divides opinion. So I really, really want to know in the comments, write it now, once you've done the like and the stuff, make sure you tell me, would you keep Sangaré, or do you think there's a potential upgrade out there for him? So, from the Forest perspective, it's expected that Forest are going to try and lock him down to a new contract. And this is going to be the theme of Forest window. The big players, the big names, we want them signed up on new contracts. And so we obviously talking about the club. So Gibbs White, I know, is in negotiations. You got potentially Elliot Anderson. I don't know if that's going to be sorted out pre-World Cup. We've seen Murillo sign up. Now you got Sangaré, Nico Williams. There's talks of a new contract for him as well. So a lot of the core, the spine of the team, Forest are looking to hold on to. Will there be one or two that go? Yes, of course there will be. Will there be a big bid for one of the players? Most likely. But this is what we love about the transfer window. It's just going to ebb and flow, and we'll see where the cards land at the end of it. So I expect him to stay at Forest. I also think he still owes Forest, because Forest have been patient with him, especially after that first season. Now, yes, he did start to return on that investment, and let's not forget, like, he was the marquee signing when we did pick him up. Obviously, you guys remember we were involved in that signing, and well, that was a crazy night, and you guys were involved in it as well for the OGs of you out there. So that was crazy in itself. But I think he will end up staying at Forest. But things can change. So that's the Sangaré story. Let's move on to the Elanga story. And I can't believe I'm doing this, right? But guys, really, you want Elanga back? I hear it. Look, I read a lot of your comments, and a lot of you are saying he's an upgrade on Ndoye. He's an upgrade on, some of you are saying Bakwa. He knows Forest, he knows the club and everything. I get all that. I still just don't think we're playing the same style we played under where he thrived, which was under a Nuno formation. I think Pereira is a different style manager to Elanga. But, and again, before I get in the comments, why are you bringing this up? Why are you doing it? Because you guys are asking about it, okay? That's the only reason. I got no interest in this story, but I have to be objective in what I'm producing. So what's happened now? Apparently, Elanga and Ndoye are BFFs, okay? So Elanga has commented on Ndoye's post. He said something like, I really like you. And he's written it. I don't know what it's in. I think it's in French or something. Yeah, he goes, I really like you, bro. And that's it. And then he's had a conversation as well with Bakwa and the Newcastle fans. Like, I see you Newcastle fans in the comments as well. They're all getting giddy. And some people are saying, well, hold on. If Ndoye, a footballer, is talking to another footballer in Elanga, and they have this common denominator that at some point or currently they've played for the same club. Therefore, surely that means that Forest and Newcastle, because they've done loads of deals before, are just going to swap players. I don't know. Like, that's literally the story. There's no sourcing on this. There's nothing but kind of social media hype on it. There's nothing for me to say to you guys, get excited about. Now, the only thing I will say on this is how Elanga's move away from Forest started when he went to Newcastle. There was the hearting of Asula's post. There was pictures with Asula. There was him wearing, I think he was wearing a Newcastle top. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. And then that kind of built up. But even having said that, Newcastle had already come in for Elanga in the previous window anyway. And it was Marinakis that told them, no, we're not doing business. We want to keep the core of our squad together. So even with that, and Elanga would have been up for the move back then anyway, it was reported. So even with him doing all the twerking or whatever the kids call it now on social media and everything, it was already something that was in motion from a transfer window before. So him liking Ndoye's post or saying to him whatever he said, I like you, bro, and all this, doesn't mean they're just going to swap positions. So I think people are just like, you know, on a kind of low now. The Premier League's finished and we suddenly like had our little break from football. And now we're looking around thinking, oh man, I'm actually maybe looking forward to the World Cup to see some football. You know, we've had that little break away from it and people are just getting excited about little stories that I think there's no sourcing for, but we'll see what happens. So that's your Forest news. Get your comments in. Let me know. Do you want to keep Sangaré? And is Elanga coming back to Forest? We'll see you on the next video. Make sure you enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, come on you Reds.